Alright, I'm at the first state capitol in St. Charles, and so this is actually the third stop on the Katy Trail, but it's the best parking lot and whatnot, and the other two are kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to start here, go north up the trail, and go to the start line, and then go back past this, and then just kind of like run a circle. So, in theory, I'm going to do the entire Katy Trail and take a video of it. So this is going to be the 5th time that I've hiked the entire Katy Trail. It's been over 2 years since I've done the entire thing. I did sections of it last year, but it's been over 2 years since I've done the entire thing. The entire thing is like 263 miles. It goes almost all the way across Missouri. But yeah, I'll start it today, and then I don't know when I'll get back around to it, but in theory I'm going to get the whole thing again this year. Alright, so right now I am in St. Charles, which is the 39.5 mile mark from the front. And so I'm going to I'm going to bike all the way up here to the starting line at Machens, and then turn around, come back, probably pass it, and go to Greensbottom, and then come back to move the car. And that kind of is just how you have to do it whenever you bike it solo. You have to kind of do the trail and do it a second time. So the 263 is actually 5:15 or something for me to do it once. So my time is usually not great on getting it done, and I'm going to try to do it pretty quick this year. I've never really bothered to try to do it really quick. So, yeah, I should in about 9 miles I'll be at the starting line, and then I'll turn around and come back through here and pass where I am. So since I technically haven't even started yet, I'm going to just check out all these little parks and random stuff that's on the side of the river. Right now I'm at Blanchette Landing, and it looks like the fire department's emptying the water hose. So I actually came down here just to look at the truck here, and there's a trail right behind me. I'm not really sure where this trail goes, so I'm going to take it. I'm sure it just goes down the river a little ways, but why not? So when I came to those bridges, I realized I have been back here before, but usually they come in back here by the old, like, overpass bridge, and not that way. I just didn't recognize it. But yeah, so this is just following the Katy Trail down the road. I think I'm going to go back, and there was another little trail back there that will continue north. I don't know where it goes. I think the last time I was here, they were brush hogging it, so I didn't bother. So I'm going to go see where. I'm sure it just goes in a straight line, but I'm going to go check it out. I like this trail because it's thick, but it's like a well cut through path. Yeah, I like this back here. Also, there's somebody shooting off fireworks really close to me. I mean, they're booming pretty loud. So I've been here too. There's the bridge right there. There's just a lot more connector trails than I realized through here. Alright, so the trail does continue going on, but literally this entire area is just all sand. And it's a pain to drive through. So, if you can see that little white line up there, like the little, like, it looks like a gravel road. But that's the Katy Trail. So, I'm just going to walk my bike back up there, and I'm not fighting this sand. It's way too early in the day for that. Whenever I was a kid, we had one of these trees in my yard that had like the beans growing on it. But these are massive. I mean, they were like 6 or 8 inches long, and then they turn brown and fall. These, like, there's one up here that's gotta be as long as my arm, like 3 times as big as the ones that grew in my yard. Alright, well, I'm officially out of side trails for right here. And so the Katy Trail is right back there by that power line. And I really need to hop back on it because I said I was going to do this one faster. And I left about an hour and a half ago, and I'm at least a quarter of the way to the starting line. So, yeah, time, not killing it on time. So, here a year ago, this used to be two nasty car lots, I guess? Junkyards? Now it's one nasty junkyard over there, and then just a lot. I mean, it's an improvement over what it was, for sure. They've actually cleaned this one up quite a bit, too. Like, it's still a junkyard, obviously, but even a year ago, they had, like, the big, nasty, like, plastic fencing back here and graffiti all over it, and there was trash just hanging on all over the fence, and it was yeah, it's a big improvement over what it was last summer. I feel like the Katy Trail is the best way to see Missouri, and I mean, really, that's what Missouri is. It's this flat cornfield, peaceful, just wide open, just space. This is like a prime example. I mean, other than the crappy ass cities, but yeah, that's a prime example of what you find in Missouri. One of the times that I came through here, I came through, and down here on the right side of the trail, in this little, like, dead brown patch of grass, there was something rustling around, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't really bother with it. But I came by, and I got over to about this hump, and all of a sudden a coyote comes out, and I guess he's seen me, and just bolted, like, across the road and over and down into that tree line. Acted like I shot him, just darted out there. And yeah, that's the first. I've seen two coyotes on the Katy Trail. The other one was over on the other side of Jeff City, close to Hartsburg. I'll probably forget to mention it when I get there, but yeah, that was that actually, that might have been the first time I seen a coyote, period, since I moved out of my parents' house. You know, if you're on a trail that's more than 250 miles long, and you come to the low point on the way to the starting line, it's not a great sign, but, I mean, it's all uphill from here, you know? Alright, so I am at the start of the Katy Trail now. And the Katy Trail, the KTY Trail, actually used to be the old railroad. And they just pulled the railroad out and made it into a bike path. So, KTY actually stands for Kansas, Texas, and I'm not sure what the Y stands for. It might be like New York type thing. I don't know. But, so originally, it was how goods got from Mexico and wherever up here, because everything went to the Panama Canal and then came up on the railway. I don't know. So, the railway itself actually connected here to this railway, and that's obviously a new railway. It used to be right here where the Katy Trail goes. It's a little depot, the official starting line of the Katy Trail now. Nothing here at all. No parking lot, no nothing. It's just a spot in the middle of two fields. I was going to read the billboard and give all the little stats and look like I knew what I was talking about, but the billboard's gone. So, I don't know. But earlier, I did say that it was 8 miles up here, and I don't know what in the world I was looking at, because right now, the starting line is at mile marker 26.9, because they cut part of it off for that railway. So, technically this is mile marker 26.9, but St. Charles, where I parked, is 39.5. That's almost 40. So, I've done 15 miles already, plus whatever else I, just screwed around and did. Say 18, 18 miles already, but the next 15 shouldn't take me all that long. So this one billboard right here, I thought this was just like one of the standard ones that shows all the other state parks in Missouri, which it is on this side, sort of. But then over here, it actually has that little information I was talking about. It says, "Welcome to the Katy Trail State Park, one of 87 state parks and historic sites managed by Missouri State Parks. Whether you're beginning or ending your journey, Machens is the eastern terminus of the park. From this point, the Katy Trail stretches 240 miles west across the midsection of Missouri, connecting more than 30 communities and cities. The Katy Trail follows the now historic corridor of the Missouri, Kansas, and Texas Railroad, MKT, or Katy. Constructed between 1870 and 1893, the MKT contributed greatly to the economy of mid-Missouri by encouraging development of several towns along its route, such as McKittrick, Mocaine, and Pilot Grove. The railroad became the lifeblood of many communities by importing manufactured goods from around the world and exporting local commodities such as corn, hay, livestock, coal, shoes, and pottery. Railroads provided quick and convenient transportation and even delivered the mail. Today, trail users can rediscover the railroad's heyday as they journey over truss and trestle bridges, ride past restored depots, and visit towns and villages where trains once traveled. Yet there is much more to experience in the culture of railroads. Throughout history, Osage Indians, members of the Lewis and Clark expedition, Daniel Boone, his family, and others traveled portions of this corridor. Later, steamboats carried goods and passengers on the nearby Missouri River. Today, visitors will still encounter remnant prairies, bottomland forests, towering bluffs, and rich agricultural lands as they travel Katy Trail State Park from end to end. Generally, Katy Trail State Park is 100 feet wide and offers a 10-foot wide trail surfaced with crushed limestone. Private land borders most of the park. There are 26 official trailheads, 6 additional parking areas, and 4 fully restored depots. The park is open during daylight hours only. So, there you go. The Katy Trail. Alright, my bike of the Katy Trail officially starts now. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff on the way back is gonna be the same stuff I just seen, but oh well, deal with it. Also the flies up here are obnoxious, and like, they're the big massive flies that don't fly away just when you pedal, so I'm constantly reaching down, slapping my legs. One of them bit me hard enough to actually draw blood. So yeah, that only adding, look at that, only adding to the enjoyment. Alright, so I'm in Black Walnut now. So they have this one billboard, the history of Black Walnut. So from 1810 to 1993, got groves of walnut trees, named for a grove of walnut trees. The town of Black Walnut is located southeastern part of St. Charles County. German, French, and American immigrants settled Black Walnut as early as 1810. In 1894, the Missouri-Kansas-Texas Railroad connected St. Charles to the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad and provided rail access from the Union Station in St. Louis. Small towns like Machens and Black Walnut thrived during the railroad's heyday. I mean, that's about everything of significance. In 1812, October, Indians attacked William Van Berkelio and his wife Eleanor. The attackers broke into the Van Berkelio house in the middle of the night and fired a round of buckshot at them before fleeing. They had a cholera epidemic in 1834. Schneer's steamboat landing was operated in Black Walnut in 1852. In October of 1882, a pumpkin weighing 104 pounds was on exhibition at the W.M.H. Meyer and Company in Frenchtown, and it was grown in Walnut Grove on the farm of Mr. W.M. Klausner. The Katy Railroad was paved through Black Walnut in 1894. 1903, June 7th, there was a flood surrounded 200 people. New York Times reported the water so high authorities could not get boats under the AIDS Bridge in St. Louis to rescue citizens. Yeah, I mean, that's about it for the news and the history. And then there were a few slaves and slave owners of significance. I don't really know who they were. This Jim Beckworth guy. Yeah, this is all Black Walnut today. It's just a bunch of little pastures and fields. It is pretty though. Alright, so Black Walnut sits at the 30-mile mark, and I guess they don't really consider this to be a stop because this billboard says Machens to St. Charles. Machens is the terminus where the starting line was. So, via the Katy Trail, Machens to St. Charles is 12.6 miles. Machens, mile points 26.9, is the eastern end of the Katy Trail State Park. Machens is also known as the Texas Junction, named after the last state in the MKT's full name, Missouri State and Kansas Railroad. A quarter-mile south of Machens was the junction of Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroads and Katy Railroad. Katy trains entered St. Louis via the CBQ. Heading west, trail users ride through the expensive bottomland of Missouri, Mississippi, and Illinois rivers. At milepost 34.5 is the lowest point on the Katy Trail State Park, 436 feet above sea level. The extended river bottoms provide rich farmland where corn, wheat, and soybeans are grown. There are three main stops on the Katy Railroad between Machens and St. Charles. At the first stop, a small grove of walnut trees gave Black Walnut its name. Music Ferry Road led from Black Walnut to a ferry operated by American Revolutionary War veteran David Musick. As Marius Croce, mile marker 32.3, a similar shelter stood behind the Crooked Marsh. The last stop before St. Charles is a cul-de-sac named after one of St. Charles' common fields. The 1993 Missouri River flood damaged the right-of-way in this area, so the Katy Trail was built on the levee. Entering St. Charles, trail users began encountering the Missouri River bluffs that run along the Katy Trail for the next 150 miles. So here's the Black Walnut Cemetery. Established 1810, so it's a lot of the people that they were talking about on the billboard, but I went over there once or twice, but the flies are too bad today for me to even stand not moving. So yeah, I'm gonna hit the road. I'm getting really tired now. It feels good to actually get tired on a bike. It's been a while. I I actually stopped to take a break in these walnuts, and whew, I never usually stop to take a break, but my wrists are killing me. Like I can tell it's been a while since I've had any long bike rides because my wrists and palms are super, super sore. This is the levee they were talking about, with the 93 flood. And this is also where my coyote sighting was a few years ago. I started to get dizzy there at the end, but I made it back to the St. Charles stop. So this actually was the first Missouri State Capitol building. I think it was this. It was either this or that pavilion now. But this billboard says, on August 10, 1821, Missouri became the 24th state of the United States. Peck Row in St. Charles served as the temporary capital of Missouri for just over 5 years, from 1821 to 1826. The promise of free rent, spacious accommodations, close proximity to St. Louis, and access to the Missouri River and Boone's Lick Road brought the capital to St. Charles. Meanwhile, the permanent capital of Jefferson City was being constructed in the middle of the state. And then this has some struggle in the statehood thing. I gotta find a water spigot before I do anything else. So, the water fountain is turned off here, but the little dog spigot is not, and it may have just saved my life. Oh, thank God for people that leave the water turned on. I could have swore that they had a water spigot at the end of the trail and here in St. Charles, but they didn't. They didn't have any.